They just want you to sit in your chair and go hip hip hooray for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old every single day without the stop. Please watch the first 2 episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
I hope that you can hear me now. Let me know now. Let me know, please, if you can hear me. Can anyone hear me? Yeah. Thanks, Johan. Johan's quick on the draw there, isn't he? Good job he doesn't live in Dodge City. He'd get rid of all the baddies without the help of Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. Sorry about this. Anyway, let's see what you... Oh, God, just got to mention these wonderful people who sponsor Frank Carlyle's podcast, every single one of them. Yes, every one of them. It's Gap Painting Services. And Gap Painting Services, honestly, get them in. Please get them in. Don't struggle, especially if you're an NHS worker or an elderly person or couple. Just don't struggle trying to decorate your homes, because you get a special discount. You really do. A very special discount. And if you don't fit into the categories of NHS worker or an elderly person, they're still very reasonable, because they do give you a price. Just get them in, say, listen, how much? And they give you the price there and then, without any obligation, by the way. And the fully time served, the lads, fully time, no cowboys, are allowed in Gap Painting Services, and they're fully insured too. So anyway, that's all. Right, I'm going to go to the, I think ambidextrous. Listen there, Frank. Listen, Frank, it's still very low. I don't understand it. I really don't. I can't. Jason hasn't been in touch with me to say anything about the, about the lowness. So the only thing I suggest, if you're looking at the telly, just turn the volume up. I don't know about your phone. I'm awfully sorry. I really am about this. I can't do anything about it. I really can't. I just wish I could, but I haven't a clue. I just haven't a clue. I honestly, I just haven't a clue. I look at volume things here and there, but that's got nothing to do, I don't think. No, absolutely zilch. Absolutely, I don't think so anyway. I just don't know why it's low. I really don't, and I'm so awfully sorry about that. Our lovely Myra's with us. Hi, Frank and friends. Yellow heart, red. Thank you. And she carries on by saying, literature is the thought of thinking souls. Quote from Thomas Carlyle. He, on my dad's side, is one of my ancestors. Thomas Carlyle, historian as well. Great friend of Charles Dickens, Myra. And he wrote a book called Sign of the Times. And he's the first person ever to use the terminology automation. Because he says workers are like, they're being automated. You know, just going in and out of work, in and out, in and out. And he dedicated it to Charles Dickens' Sign of the Times. And when Dickens wrote Hard Times, he dedicated that to Thomas Carlyle. How about that? Good shout there, Myra. And hang on, I've got to read. I've got to put my reading glasses on. Get a headache with these, you know. That's why I don't like wearing them. Myra says the thoughts of a thinking man have spoken, not to be etched in stone, less spoken. Memories echo in time, but fading in time. And that's Myra's own quote. A little philosopher is our Myra. That's great, that. Because memories do echo in time, but fading in time too. That's why you have memories. That's why you've got good memories or bad memories. We can't all have good memories, unfortunately. That's why we try to push the bad ones back and bring out the good ones to the forefront of your mind. That's the way I look at it anyway. That's great, though. And history is a reflection to humanity, to reflect, to correct its path. But nothing gets corrected. This is why, you know, like today, what's happening today, and, you know, even other things as well. And always someone comes out and says, haven't we learned our lessons yet throughout history? Or about history? And we don't. Simon, hi Frank and chat. Hope you are all doing well today. Says Simon. I just want to know if everything is okay. Speaking, know what I mean? I don't want anyone to be out of it. I just don't know what's gone wrong with the sound. I really don't, and I'm so sorry about that. And Simon says, hey Myra, Marcus Aurelius nailed it. We ought to do good to others as simply as a horse runs, or a bee makes honey, or a vine bears grapes season after season, without thinking of the grapes it has borne. It's great, Marcus Aurelius. I've seen a statue in Rome. And writers like George Bernard Shaw used his work like Man and Superman and Heartbreak House to explore the humanity as not learned from history. Alas, today canvas shows little we have learned. If history repeats itself and the unexpected always happen, how incapable must man be of learning from experience? I could give you the quote right now. It's a wonderful thing, history, if it'll be true. Think about that. If it'll be true. Yeah, Myra, no sounds. I've seen that, Myra. Right at the beginning. A very good evening to you, Frank, says George Seth. Good evening, George. You're muted, Frank, says Johan. Lynn, evening, Frank and Anthony. Evening, Lynn. Ambidextrous. They're all letting answer themselves now. And ambidextrous. Frank, we can't hear you. Can you hear me now, Ambi? Ciao, Franco, and everyone. Hope you're all well. I can hear you now, says Toscana. Buonasera, Toscana. Come stare. Yeah, more volumes needed. I'm awfully sorry. I just don't know. I'm awfully sorry. I can't do it from here, you see. And Steve Mulholland, Tamara, great to see you in the Moats chat last night. I couldn't watch you. I seen his monologue today, this morning actually. I don't know why he shouts though. Yeah, good to see you, to stay. Daniela. Buonasera, Daniela. Good evening, Frank. We hope you're well. Good evening, everyone. And the lovely Myra saying, volume better. Great. Toscana. Buonasera, Daniela. Hi, Frank and everyone. Like and subscribe. I thought you were going away, says Christopher, the man who's going on holiday. Un piacere, salutati. Yeah, see, it's all the Italians now are talking to each other. Isn't that great? Stephen. With age, not sure people forget the lessons of history. I am growingly convinced that the evil that the evil do learn, but not as we'd expect them to. Well, there's always evil. There's always evil, unfortunately. And they do more harm than good, if you know what I mean. Hello all, says Peace Poppy. Hiya, Poppy. And Stephen says, Simon, we surely must have read the Foundation series, and in brackets, not Netflix. Oh, Chris, I'm in Tenerife, so probably won't be on much over the next 2 weeks. Buenas noches, amigos. Tenerife. Oh, that's fantastic. Listen, I've got a dear friend of mine came down today, and you know, like a small bit. Well, not a, is a small business, and he said to me, "Listen, Frank, and say like a key ring, for example, if the lads under 20, it's a key ring, you know, the likes of this." And I had my photograph. I was at a function with Kenny Dalglish, and I was telling him about Oliver Twist. And through the, you know, the birth of Oliver Twist, if you know what I mean. And all through the night he was shouting over, like different groups he was with, you know, people would shouting, "Frank!" I was going, "What?" He said, "Was Oliver Twist a Scouser?" I went, "Yeah." And he's going, "I told you, didn't I?" Frank knows. Well, anyway, he came down today. And you can get these done, actually. Not what I'm going to show you, but, you know, photographs or anything on slate. And you get a stand with them, obviously. And he went, "Look what I've got here." And it was quite a surprise because I thought this photo was lost forever. And he came up with it. Me and Kenny. Me and Kenny at the function. Isn't that brilliant? Look. And it's on slate. It's on slate. And also what's on, these are just a couple of things he brought down. If you're a Liverpool fan. You know, for the stand, you know, you get stands with them, so you just put them on. I'm absolutely delighted with the photograph. And he also get onto this little coasters. Little coasters. No, for your cups. Look at that one. But I don't know the prices of them. He said he'd send me them, the prices, if you fancy them, because I think they're absolutely fantastic. And t-shirts, by the way. T-shirts. I'll wear it tomorrow night on the football show. She's your one. Says Christopher. Ah, the ambidextrous. Love this girl. I've plugged you into the amp so you're coming through the speakers, Frank. I could have said something there, you know, but I won't. Kalumi. Nice. Nice, Kalumi. Nice to see you as well. Obviously, he's talking about these wonderful things you know, all Liverpool stuff. I think they're brilliant, honestly. Look at that one. Isn't that brilliant? Alive a bird upon my chest. I think they're brilliant. Look at that. Isn't that brutal? And that says a Liverpool, hang on, a Liverpool upon my chest. We are the men of Shankly's best. I couldn't hardly read it then. That's the song, isn't it, that we sing? Fantastic. And that one as well. I think that's brilliant. And also what he does as well is that. And that's a mouse mat. And I made up. And he gave me that. He said, yeah, that's for you, because I knew that you never had a mouse mat. Made up. Got a mouse mat. A Liverpool one. Oh, Marie Morgan. Hi Frank, hope all is well with you and your family, says Marie is one of my ex-students, mature student. Thank you, Marie. Lovely to see you. Really is. Have you got your friend's website details, says Toscara? I'll have everything tomorrow. I really will, for you. On the football show. He's a very dear friend of mine. I'm a friend of their, his family as well. I'm going to bring in some fella. Don't know who he is, you know what I mean? Bloody nuisance. Honest to God, this fella thinks he knows everything. And he thinks he can paint. He thinks he does. He has art exhibitions everywhere. I'll put it this way, I think he's better than Pablo Picasso. This man. There he is. My little mate. He hasn't been in touch with me. I could have been dying. No one's been in touch with me. No messages. No nothing. Poor Frank. There he is, anyway. Good evening.
Good evening, my dear sir. Feels like years. Well, it's only been days, but yeah. No, I know. I've been out of action.
I know, yeah, I got your message.
Wow. Oh, Frank.
Got your message.
Yeah. And you've been
You're
flying
all
the
right
flag.
now, though, aren't you?
I'm getting there. Yeah, I'm getting there.
Like we all, Anthony. You know, everyone says, "How are you?" And you go, "I'm getting there." Someone
Yeah.
asked me today, getting there.
Oh, yeah. Or what we all do is say, "Fine, yeah, great." Even when you're not, you know.
Yeah.
I only told you and Jason in case I fell off my chair, and didn't want to shock him. We all have our moments, don't we? Good
Yes.
days, bad days, good weeks.
Yes, we do. Certainly do. I'm going to show you there. Remember, we've been to functions, you know, you and I.
Yeah.
Was you there when Kenny and me and Kenny were there?
Was
What do you think of the photo?
Was that at the cathedral?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there.
Jimmy McGovern was there.
Yeah, Jimmy was. Yeah, there's a few.
Because I said to him, you know, when I walked over, and I went, I'm going over to get this fella's handshake. So I went over, and I went, Kenny, can I shake your hands? He said, certainly, Frank. And I went, And I just turned to Jimmy and I said, did you tell him who I was? And he went, no. He knew me. Now, my mate who brought this down, you know, all this paraphernalia stuff,
Yeah.
great stuff, by the way, you know, their coaster.
Yeah. No, it
And
looks fantastic.
he just said, he said, because he used to work alongside Kenny, Dave, and he said, do you know Frank Carlyle? He said, yeah, no. Kenny said, you know, yeah, I know. Why? He said, oh, nothing. He said, I've got a photograph of him. You and him. But that's by the by. That's fantastic. Good evening, international artist, Mr. Brown, says Johan.
Good evening, Mr. Kindness himself, Johan. Good evening, sir. I've missed you all.
And lovely Lynn says, sounds 100%. No, Frank. Thank you, Lynn. And the rest of you who've told me. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Callum, Frank, I've come out of retirement. I'm starting up again. Retired in 2017. Returned to. I was taught this. Callum was about 17 or 18.
Okay.
Young fella.
Really, all the best.
That's football. Oh, I see. Retired in 2017 and is coming out here. Yeah. Yeah. Good evening, Anthony. Good to see you and hope you're well, says Toscana.
Thank you, Toscana. In perfect company to be well. Thank you.
And Callum said, I'm 19. And I stopped playing when I was 11.
Oh,
I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you a little bit of history anyway. Let's just see. I just want to go through a couple of things first. The random, you know what Jason puts up? Very all random stuff. And this is the beginning of Liverpool. And now if you look at it, Sultan's Moor, the Great Heath, Moss Lake, the Bricks, the Great Old Field, and Woodover Heathlands. Thing is, do you know when you're looking at that, the Great Moss Lake, and you go over to like the Great Old Field?
yeah.
Right. See what you've got there, that's the Great Old Field is and the Bricks is Anfield. Because Anfield was very swampy, going right back. It was very, very swampy. And that's the pool, you know, coming in off the Mersey.
Yeah.
The pool coming off the Mersey.
Oh. And there's Castle Fields.
Sorry?
There's a little snippet on the underneath the Great Heath, Castle Fields.
Jason said, sent a message. I'm going to jump on your computer and have a look at the mic setting. Keep going. Just ignore me. Try moving the mic towards the screen a bit. You might be talking past it. No, I'm not. That's what he means by that. No, I'm not, Jay. I don't know what he means, you know, by I'm talking. Oh, I see. Do you mean like that, Jay? Do you mean like that? I don't know. Let's hope that it's okay anyway. Oh, I've gone again. Can it? Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
we can hear you, but it's lower than normal, Frank.
Yeah, well, Jason's, doing a loads of things there.
Jason's doing his magic.
Yeah, he does. That's what I mean. Because as you know, he's always busy, with things. Unlike tonight, he seems to be home a bit earlier every Monday, just as well, which is sound.
So what are these places all named there?
What you say, Anthony?
What are these places now? The Brex.
Oh, Jimmy, it's just everywhere, all over Liverpool. Like the Brecks.
Yeah.
Oldfield Road and the Breck Road and
Okay.
Bolton Breck Road.
Okay. Cool.
And the White Acres, what you can you see that, the White Acres? Is Old Hall Street. White Acres is Old Hall Street. At the bottom there.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's Old Hall Street. Because what you have, I wonder if I can show. No, I can't. He's finished, I think. Like, see what you've got there. I can't make it any bigger. But where you've got White Acres, to the right of White Acres, you've got the Roman street plan, the letter H.
Yeah.
And as I said, that's Old Hall Street.
Wow.
The White Acres, because that's what it was known as, White Acre Street. And then Lord Molyneux, he built a manor house there. And then it went into disrepair, he didn't like living there. I think it was too cold, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it was a hall. Hence, when it became dilapidated, Old Hall Street, you see.
Wow.
And the Moss Lake, the Great Heat, that's Toxteth. That's Toxteth. How cool is that, though? Hey. And look at that, Faulkner Street, the Georgian Quarter, 6th of March, 1934. And how it's changed today. And then those buildings there are still there today. Those beautiful Georgian buildings. Fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, that is fantastic, Frank.
Faulkner Street.
And we've still got the original stone, haven't we? Cobblestone.
Yeah, it's all original. I remember talking to that Phil and Kirsty, off that, I forget what programme that they used to present. And I said to them, do you know that we've got more Georgian buildings in Liverpool, here in Liverpool, down in Bath? And that big Phil fella said, yes, we know. I said, oh, okay then. I seen him up at Hope Street Hotel. That's where he was staying.
Yeah.
And there's our Russian friends. Hi, Frank and Anthony. All right.
Oh, good evening.
Not brilliant. Our Russian friend. Ah, yeah. Unfortunately, Nietzsche. I can't speak Russian. No way I can speak Russian. I can't even speak English. And lovely Poppy says, we can hear you. Thank you, Peace. And Poppy. Poppy, I think that's a beautiful name, though. Beautiful. Look at that. Mersey Docks and Harbour Board, Liverpool, England. And these are the types of how can I say this? Posters. That's a proper poster.
Yeah.
Because it went up and you could go on the overhead railway and see the likes of these. You see the likes of these.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. As it says there, the Port of Liverpool is well equipped to handle every type of cargo. And what you see there is a carriage of a train being loaded on, either on or off a ship.
Oh. Wow.
Do you ever remember, I'm not saying you ever remember, I'm sorry. Remember our tram service? And we had the last one in 1957. And the last tram that went on the ride throughout Liverpool, we gave it to San Francisco. And that was it was used in San Francisco for many years. Now it's in a museum, the last tram of Liverpool in San Francisco.
Wow. Fantastic.
I think it's absolutely brilliant. I really do.
Yeah.
When you see the likes of this. These wonderful things. And I went since I managed. And look at that. You see, like, we know where that is. Obviously, it's over at, that's Minerva over at the town hall. And what people don't notice are the lions.
Yeah.
They don't
You
notice
wouldn't
them.
see them from street level, would you? Really?
You know why, don't you? Because the focus is on the statue itself.
Yeah.
When something, you know, is as big as that. And I tell you what else they don't notice. The clock itself. They don't notice the clock. As I said, the focus is on Minerva.
Yeah.
The goddess of wisdom. And coincidentally, I mentioned when I said I was talking to that Phil and Kirsty about we have more Georgian buildings than Bath itself. Well, the fella who designed and built the hall, not the hall, the town hall, I'm sorry, was John Wood, Sir John Wood, from Bristol. And have you seen pictures or footage of it's well known in Bristol, the crescent. Goes round, everybody's seen. And he actually designed that. And when you look at the crescent at Bristol, it's exactly the same stone as Liverpool Town Hall.
Wow.
And that opens its door in 1754. And exactly 100 years later, in 1854, the doors of St. George's Hall opened. Two great buildings.
Yeah.
And as you
Amazing.
know, I don't like saying this, but I have to. As you know, those two buildings that I've just mentioned, the Town Hall and St George's Hall, were in danger of being demolished
Yes.
by a
Yeah.
certain group of people in the 80s. Just imagine them gone.
No. I couldn't imagine them, Frank. That's the thing. I could not imagine them gone.
And lovely Poppy. Thank you, Frank. Oh, thank you for joining us. I know what you mean by that unbelievable name you have. And Stefan says, saw a YouTube documentary. They showed loading the first three locomotives for India, tightly packed in the cargo bay.
Wow.
And do you know what? I was trying to think something there, and it's gone out of me. It's gone out of my. Where Stefan says about locomotives for India. Excuse me. The fella who actually did the outlay of India, the fella who did it, Anthony, was Thomas Brassey. And he lived over your side of the water.
Okay.
Because you've got Brassey Street School, haven't you?
Yeah.
Thomas Brassey Street.
Wow.
Brassey Street. And there's a school there, so it's Thomas Brassey Street. And not only did he do it in India, could you imagine putting the, the tracks in India? You go through jungles and everywhere. Well, right through India. But he also laid the lines in France. France is vast, like India. And he laid out the lines there. And he also laid out the lines, the tracks, in Australia.
Wow.
Australia.
It's like science fiction, isn't it?
It
Too
is like
much.
science fiction. It is like, and the Rockies as well.
Yeah.
The Rockies, America. And Michael says there's an imbalance with the volume. Tony sounds just right, but your voice sounds distant. Really?
That's what Jason's working on now, I think, guys.
And George says, Frank Anthony, I've been trying to find out how long it took John R. Isaac to draw his magnificent balloon view of Liverpool and district. There doesn't seem to be any clues. That's the one by Isaac. The one I've got a big picture of it. The one I have is by a Frenchman. And you just see her looking down, from a balloon, looking down, and what you see is right overlooking Lime Street Station and St George's Hall, and into the distance, both north, south, and east, west. great it is.
Yeah.
I can't get it up, unfortunately, and I'm not. It'll be too big to show here, on my little screen. But that was done in 1885 by a Frenchman. And Stefan says, the rocket should be in Liverpool, not Manchester. No, it's the... we have got it. It's the Lion. There's no such thing as the rocket anymore. That was well gone. It's George Stephenson's rocket. And the next best thing to it was the Lion. And we have it here. It is back at home. It is back at home. Back here, anyway. That's a cracking picture, that. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, look at that. God, blimey, I could have done that with the others, couldn't I? But I don't know how to get it back again. I'm useless. Let's see. No. Isn't that brilliant? Look at that. Look at the Mersey there, Anthony.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah. How busy it is.
going right out into Liverpool Bay, then the Irish Sea.
Yeah.
Can I? No, I can't. You can't see my little arrow, can you?
Yeah.
No. Oh,
No.
do you know what? If I had this, I'd be showing some landmarks. Absolutely brilliant. It's Jason there. I don't know where I am.
Wow.
Oh, what's this? I'm trying to get back, you see. Oh, I'm back. I'm
It
back.
takes you with you. That map, doesn't it?
I
It's
love
like
it.
you've been over it.
I love it. I love it. That map. Brilliant. There it is. I can't add it to the stage. Oh, there it is. There it is. But if I could, I know Jason's there, and if I could have that up, Jay, I could show landmarks. Because the one I have, what I can't show, is this one. But it doesn't show you the landmarks I'd like to see. I can show you that.
Wow.
Can't get it. Can't get it. There we go.
Yeah.
The likes of that there.
Yeah.
Can you follow my?
Yeah.
Can you see that? Well,
Yeah.
the likes of. Just let me try. Let me try and get this up. No, useless. Oh, it's still useless. I can't fucking do this, you know. I really can't. I really can't. I'm absolutely useless. Jason, you'll have to help me out, mate. I've fucked everything up. Let's see. trying to get one up myself. I don't know where I am. Oh, yes. God, it's on myself. Look at that. But I didn't want this. Oh, I didn't want it. Oh, useless. Frank is useless. Can't do anything right. I have to take it away. I have to take it away. I have to take it. I'm terrible, you know. Hopeless. Jason's messaged me telling me to behave myself, I suppose. Go ahead, Jay. Do you know what he said? He said, leave it. Leave it and talk, I'll sort it. I need your mouse though. So he's got me mouse. Honestly, it's shocking. Do you know when all this like going around? And I can see Stefan's. Oh, he's got me. Do you know what? He's brilliant. Look at this. I love this. This is the one I've got. Can I use the thing now, Jay? Can I use it? Yeah. I'll just go through some. I'll just go through some messages. And Stefan says, how long did the Frenchman stay in his balloon to draw? Don't know. Don't know. I could have took him a couple of days, few days, I don't know, but I'm going to show it up now. I'm going to show the map up. Stefan. I'm going to show it. And Mick Gonzo. Mick_Gonzo. He says, have you been on the British Newspaper Archive online? Amazing what you can find on old issues of the Liverpool Echo and other newspapers that are long extinct. I've got a couple of old Echoes, to be honest. But there's nothing better, is the Anthony, than the great detail of Herdman. The two Herdmans, by the way.
Yeah, absolute.
Listen to what Poppy says. The battle of the man and the mouse. She's laughing a little later. I'm going to show you this for a quick, brief moment. And then we'll talk about it after the break. Just hang on. Just hang on. And this, ladies and gents, is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Just let me. I don't know where I am again, but the mouse is all over the place, you know.
Wow, look at that detail.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, what you see there, Anthony, which we'll be talking about, see there,
Yeah.
That's the magnificent from a side view as well of the custom house. And what we'll do, we'll go on to this after the break, and we'll talk about some of the details of things. Now, don't forget that there's the sailors' home here.
Yeah. Yeah.
The sailors' home. Just imagine those soup together now today. So, if Jason can put us on a break, we'll come back to this.
Yeah. Brilliant, Frank.
In the 19th century, Liverpool had the vision that was the envy of the world. Many firsts were copied, and the overhead railway was no exception. In 1888, an improved plan by businessmen who formed Liverpool Overhead Railway Company had given the go-ahead. Sir Douglas Fox and James Greathead were commissioned to design an elevated railway. After long last, it was finally accepted and the work commenced in 1889. There were problems at first. Fox and Greathead had a dilemma. What was the safest power to use? They considered steam too dangerous because of the many flammable cargoes within the range of the train's sparks that could easily ignite these dangerous cargoes, causing a major catastrophe to shipping and the public. The only other option to pursue in 1891 was the new electric traction. Electricity was carefully chosen because of the enormous advantages: economy, speed, cleanliness and quiet running. Work was completed in January 1893 and finally opened on February the 4th by the Marquis of Salisbury. The public transport section did not have long to wait. It commenced on the 6th of March 1893. The world's first electric railway had automatic electric signals and a line from Herculaneum Dock to Seaford Carriage Shed. It had 11 stations at the beginning: Brocklebank, Canada, Sandon, Clarence, Princes, Pierhead, James Street, Custom House, Wapping, Brunswick and Toxteth. An electric escalator, the first of its kind, the Reno staircase, was installed at Seaford Sands in 1901. It was removed in 1906 because there were too many insurance claims by passengers against the railway. Clothing, especially women's long outfits, were continually getting caught and people falling over themselves as it moved and stopping suddenly. During the 1941 May Blitz, parts of the overhead railway were bombed and quickly repaired. However, the Second World War, through wear and tear and the bombing, deck plate supports for sections of the track were needed to be replaced, but at a costly price of £2 million. The company who ran the railway could not afford the price, and they proceeded to ask the council and the Mersey Docks and Harbour Board for help. They were refused, and with no help forthcoming, the rigorous public protest, the overhead railway, the first of its kind anywhere in the world, closed. The last train ran on December the 30th, 1956. There were many protests and attempts to save the overhead railway. Unfortunately, the protests fell on deaf ears. The only decision made by the people in power was to demolish it, and demolish it they did, leaving an enormous void in Liverpool's great heritage. There are few remnants left of the old overhead railway, and this one at Brunswick Dock. You can see the stairwell leading up to the station itself. And up here we have a tunnel that led to Dingle, because engineers had to bore through sheer sandstone for half a mile of tunnel to get to Dingle in an extraordinary feat of the 19th century. The Liverpool Overhead Railway, which is much missed, is a real Liverpool unequalled.
Here, during the new construction down at the Albert Dock, what you can actually see behind me is a building, the new Park 1 West building, that's shaped like the bow of a ship, and it just coincides with the Albert Dock, which was the very first enclosed dock in the entire world, built in 1846 by Jesse Hartley. It's absolutely wonderful, and it's Grade 1 listed. Why it was cutting edge at the time in 1846, before the Albert Dock was built, there was lots and lots of pilfery going on. Goods were going, businessmen, merchants were getting absolutely fed up. And Jesse Hartley, the dock's engineer, came up with a brainchild to build an enclosed dock. And this is what you see today, the very first enclosed dock system in the entire world. And it opens in 1846 by Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, hence the name Albert Dock. As you can see, people are just sitting down on a lovely day drinking coffee. But if you go back to the 1850s, the actual coffee beans in big sacks were being unloaded by the dockers. But unfortunately, there's no more dockers now. But they've been replaced by the tourists sitting down drinking the coffee. So therefore, it's come in a big full circle. Besides the coffee, what was coming into Liverpool, into the Albert Dock, was sugar, cotton, exotic fruits, spices from all around the world. And yet, Jesse Hartley said, we cannot afford for these to be pilfered. And he built the dock. And there was only one way in with the ships and one way out. No pilfering. And that's why the rest of the world copied this magnificent building. During the decline of the dock system, this became no exception, the Albert Dock, because it just went and fell into dereliction. And the dock itself, the water side of it, just silted up. And it wasn't until 1983 and the foresight of Michael Heseltine, the Minister of Merseyside, then he foreseen a great future for this dock. And today, modern times, it's become one of Liverpool's jewels in the crown for tourism.
One of the wonders of the world.
Your mum?
That's great, that one.
Just a bit of nonsense. Toscana. That's stunning. Yes. And Poppy says, who's that guy with the Kenny Dalglish shirt and a suit on? I don't know. He's the accused. Frank's the accused. And Lee says, hello Frank, how are you mate? Boards with international foot, so just working more and sorting the house out. No, she's got you sorting the house out, Lee, stop it. No, I don't watch international, only if it's the Azori, the Italy. And Poppy said, what beautiful set of building the Albert Dock is. I met Esseltine. Did you? Did you? When he visited the Granby Toxteth Development Trust. He was great for us. He was actually demoted because he walked away. I always remember him walking away from Thatcher at 10 Downing Street and right over to all the reporters. And he said, I've just resigned because she sold up Westland, who made great helicopters, and they were in great company. And she sold off everything to the Americans, you know. North Sea oil, everything. Everything she sold to the Americans. And he's laughing at me. Yes, he did. Was he a military man? Who? Was he Jimmy Esseltine? Esseltine? I don't know. Don't know what he was. But he came here, did a wonderful job. No, he wasn't a military man. He was a top. He should have been leader of the Conservatives, to be honest. But she demoted him when he walked away. She said, I'll demote him and make him minister of Liverpool, Merseyside. And what a fantastic job. Without him, the Albert Dock would have been no more. Because they were already trying to demolish it. He said, what are you doing? Don't you know the history behind this? So we knew more than the councillors. Useless, honestly. We know, Poppy, we know, sweetheart. And Lisa, you're right there, Frank, under the thumb. Went on the ferry for the first time since a kid with the missus and baby. He loved it. Defo do it again. Only let down was Everton New Stadium. You can't be saying that. Honestly. Right, I'm doing this all wrong again. You're talking away from the mic. Push it back so it's in the gap between the monitor. Okay. Stop betting, Jay. Just give me a quick thing.
Yeah,
Stop
that's
betting.
better, Frank.
I don't know what to do.
That's better. That's
I think I should have one of those little things here. Like I used on the, you know, the DVDs that I did.
yeah.
And Poppy says this family had roots in the tea trade. Esseltine, they've always got everyone that you see. Everyone that you see, you know, like they've got the fingers in everything. You know, I'm talking about top politicians. Top politicians. His grandfather managed Tetley. Go away. Go away. That's what I use, Tetley tea bags. When I make a cup of tea for my guests. And he says, was saying the tobacco warehouse was built with so many millions of bricks. Wow, must have took years. A fella by the name of Lycett, he designed it, and I think it was either 22 or 24 million bricks were used. It was the biggest brick warehouse in the world. The tobacco warehouse. The biggest brick warehouse in the warehouse in the world. As I said, I don't know whether it was 22 or 24 million bricks were used. Incredible. All brick. All brick. Good shout that, Lee. Good shout that, mate. Really a very good shout. We'll throw this thing up, Anthony? Look at that. But isn't that fantastic, Anthony?
It's just amazing, the detail in that.
And when you look at the dock there,
Yeah.
you know, the dock is... there's the salt house dock there, look. The salt house. It's just... you just miss it. You just miss it. But look at the columns here. The columns go right around, you know, right around.
Yeah.
It's at 32 columns, all told. The custom house. Isn't it fantastic?
Absolute. Yeah. It is.
It's a bloody shame, you know. Bloody shame. And look at the landing stage there. The landing stage was the longest in the world, you know. The longest in the world. And look, that's where you went down for your ships, your ferries or whatever. An incredible dockside we had. And this here, this church,
Yeah.
the fella who built the very first wet dock, which was Thomas Steers, well, he was a Dutchman. He not only built the dock, but he also built that particular church. He also built that. St. George's Church. Now, that's the site of what we see today. This was built actually in 1724. 1724.
Beautiful.
And it's the site of Victoria's monument. And what was happening at the time, 100 years later, you know, to strengthen it, they asked John Foster Jr. to come in and have a look at it to see, you know, to see if it was safe enough. And what you can see, I don't think, I'll have to bring it in more closely. Yeah. And how he strengthened it. You know, the tower, because as you know, St. Nick's Tower, St. Nicholas Church, in 1812, the bell ringer was, you know, just ringing the bell, and it collapsed and it killed the bell ringer. And 14 young kids from the charity school, it killed them. So rather than having another disaster like that, they brought in John Foster Jr., the great architect of Liverpool. You know, don't forget he had a dad who was a great architect as well. So anyway, they brought him in, and what he did, he strengthened the tower, and you can see these like little nodules here. And he strengthened the tower with these. And around as well, you know, not just the tower, but mainly the tower. And it strengthened it. And he said that will last 200 years. But they decided to pull it down. In 1896, to make way for Victoria's monument, which is a shame, really.
Yes.
Which is a shame, Anthony.
Yeah.
And here we have St. Nick's,
Yeah.
right there. I'll zoom in again. I think it's well worth zooming in.
Yeah.
Isn't that brilliant? Look at that. Look at this.
Yeah.
And that was the, that wasn't the original, that wasn't the original tower, by the way. Because this is the tower that we see today. Because the original, as I said, came down in 1812. And look at the beautiful buildings here. Look at this. This is the town hall here.
Yeah.
The town hall. And there where you have, I mentioned John Foster Jr. Well, his dad, and this is what gets me, to be honest. His dad designed the wonderful exchange flags, you know, behind the town hall.
Yeah.
And those buildings, these buildings here, that he designed here, and they went from there and they came down again. Because here, that's exchange flags here. I don't know why they've got green, I don't know why you put green there. But anyway, all that came down here. Beautiful buildings, and they pulled it down. And people often said to me, they said, well, you know, was it bombed in the war? I said, no. I said, they started pulling it down in 1954. 1954. They started to pull down these magnificent buildings, and also these, by the way. This building next to the town hall, that's the site now of Martin's Bank.
Yeah.
Beautiful building, Martin's Bank, Art Deco. But wouldn't you think they was a lefty and built it, say, down here somewhere, Martin's Bank? Look at that. Look at the domes. We have loads of domes.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dome buildings in close proximity.
Yeah. Yeah.
In close proximity.
Almost Phoenician, I think.
Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed, yeah. And this one, this church here, that's St. Peter's Church.
Yeah.
And that was built in 1701. And it became the Pro Cathedral. the provincial cathedral. When we became a city status in 1880, it wasn't until Noel Chavass's father, Francis Chavass, decided to build a cathedral, because that's what he said. He said this great city needs a cathedral. So we got the ball rolling for the Anglican cathedral that we see today, the magnificent Gothic building. And when he started building, when it started to build, and when it was finally completed, not completed, but you know, people were going in because it wasn't completed until 1978, you know. But they still build on it today, as you know. They still got stonemasons working there. And 1978, the Queen come and opened it, and everyone was made up. But unfortunately, in 1923, they actually pulled down St. Peter's Church, the pro-cathedral. Yeah. Now here is, there's a great story behind this actually.
Yeah.
And it's, it was called the Compton Hotel.
Yeah.
The Compton Hotel, because there was a fella named Haig designed it, because he had a friend who owns a shop, Haig, and his mate said it burnt down. You know, I don't know whether it was arson or what, but anyway, you know, it burnt. It was on fire, and he said, "Can you build me a building?" And he went, "Yeah." What kind of one do you want? He said, "Another shop." So he said, "Okay." And he built him a hotel, cum department store. Now, that opened up, I forget the one in Paris, France, I forget the name of it. And the French said, I don't know whether it was the French in us as well, I just don't know. They said, the Paris one was the first to open. What I'm saying is a hotel cum department store. And it wasn't, it was this. This opened 6 months before. So, to me, it was the very first hotel cum department store. You know, a department store within the hotel.
Yeah.
Not the French.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Look at it. So you see the details of everything.
Oh, amazing work.
And look at that.
Yeah.
Central Station. It's incredible, isn't it?
Wow.
It's just absolutely incredible. I just want to find something here. I just want to find something. Oh, come on. Come on. Now this building here, this wonderful building, Charles Dickens loved going in there. And it was the first Adelphi Hotel.
Oh, okay.
The first Adelphi Hotel. And he said it was the finest hotel in the world. That's what he said.
Wow. Was it local owners, Frank?
Sorry?
Was it local owners? Well, Liverpool or Northwest people who owned it?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah, Anthony. I just want to go to what Stevens. Let's just see what the lads and girls are saying. And Stephen Shepherd says the nearby chimney is a king's pipe used to burn the tons of tobacco residues. There were such quantities, yes. And Poppy says Michael Heseltine was at the Edinburgh Fringe 2025, still kicking at 92. That's all, folks. No, I think that's great what you're saying, because you have to keep up to date because he's well revered here, Michael Heseltine, on Merseyside. Poppy. And Lee says, just look, Frank says 27 million bricks. That's amazing. And I bet the workers back then didn't moan at harder conditions and less health and safety than these days. Just got on with it. They had to be honest. But you're right. Lee. I think it went up. I think they opened a store in 1902. 1901, 02. 27 million. See, it's strange, you look things up and you get different quantities and different things. You always get that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The Iron Church. The first Iron Church was in it was St George's Church up in Everton. Not the one what I showed just before, Poppy. Everton was the very first building, without being a church or anything, with an iron infrastructure. When it opened its doors in 1814, and the architect was John Rickman. And Craggs, his mate, was the Mersey Iron Foundry owner. And St Michael's in the Hamlets was the second church to be built or building with an iron infrastructure. Then everybody copied, rather than use wood. And Poppy says, so sad, so that church that got pulled down wasn't the Iron Church. Recently, at Iron Church, surrounding area of the building has gone to rack and ruin. Where are the preservation? Oh, society, yeah. It's a joke, Poppy. It really is a joke. Looks like the Paris Hotel de Ville. That's right, that's what it was. I think it was that particular, he's talking about now the Compton Hotel that we've seen before. And he was saying that opens, as a department, whatever, an hotel. No, it was the Compton Hotel here in Liverpool. Hi, Frank. Hi, Lee. Oh, from Skylar. Hiya, Skylar. Hiya, sweetheart. You're back at school now, eh? Oh, thanks for saying hello to me, Skylar. Thank you, sweetheart. The world-renowned turtle soup of the Adelphi, says Stefan. The world-renowned turtle soup of the Adelphi. Well, I didn't know that they sold turtle soup. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
And one of its salon is a copy. Yeah, I was on the BBC and I was talking all about that. It was the smoking room, but this is in the modern Adelphi Hotel, not that one. And Frank Atkinson, who designed today's Adelphi Hotel, he had a cousin, and he went down on it, unfortunately, to immortalise something about the Titanic. He did exactly the smoking room. He got the plans and everything of the smoking room of the Titanic. And if you go into the Adelphi Hotel and you go in and look and ask where the setting room is, that's the smoking room, exactly how it was on the Titanic. The paintwork, the wallpaper, everything. As you see today. And Lee says, what year was it, Frank, when they started to demolish our castle? And was there a council back then? What they were, they started to demolish it in 1723, but you had preservationists, Lee. You had preservationists saying, don't do this. Don't pull it. Why are you pulling it down? Please tell us why you're pulling it down. And what they wanted to do, they wanted to build a church. And the church, I said, the church was built, opened its doors in 1727. And they just wanted to, because what the preservationists were saying, this is the first building in Liverpool. The first building in Liverpool. And I put it this way when, talk about the castle and when they were pulling it down, and it was the first real building in Liverpool. It's like Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space, the very first man in space, and it's like taking him away from the records of history and saying that, and people are saying, well, who's the first man in space? Oh, we don't know. I think it was that John Glenn fella, the American. Well, they'd love that, the Americans. The Americans would love that. But it was Yuri Gagarin, so this is why I've always said about these preservationists, they work so hard and they were very vociferous about the demolition of the castle, but they took no notice. It's like today. It's like today, people knocking down buildings. And they bring people, I do know this, that they bring people from outside to knock them down, because if they said to you or I or Anthony, yeah, come on, and we're in the demolition business, we'd say, hang on a minute, you can't knock this down. Do you know the history behind it? It's shocking. It really is shocking. And as he says, Lee, and I was their council back then, as we know it today, making them, yes, the authorities, Lee, the authorities, mate. And Poppy says, yes, that's the one. I've recently been to the Iron Church in Everton. Isn't it the highest point in Liverpool? Yeah. Well, in Everton it is, yeah. I did a DVD and about it. Films inside. I forget what the DVD was called. And you'd actually see me in there. And I was talking about John Craig. I was talking about the Iron, everything. And Tony said, Tony Snell that is, he said, yeah, go up the tower. Go up the tower. And the tower, it was so... I said, I'm not climbing up there. I'm not climbing up there. Because the last time I climbed a tower like that was in St. Nick's, you know, the church down by the docks there, you know, but a pierhead. And I did it for the BBC. And the BBC crew was up, you know, in the tower, the top of the tower, so soft lad me had to go up. So I went up. I said, there's the BBC fellas here. To some fella, he said, yeah, they're waiting for you. So when I went up, they went, we're not doing it, it's too windy. So we're not filming up here. So soft lad me came down again. Now, I had not that grey suit that you see me wearing, but I had another grey suit on. You should have seen the state. It was filthy, you know, with the dust and everything. And my shoes were all scraped. I had to throw my shoes away. Got my suit clean, like, but I had to throw my shoes. They were that scraped, you know, because of the little steps.
Wow.
And so I said to Tony, there's no way I'm going up there. Didn't want that experience again. And Stefan says, there was a tank with exotic turtles to make the soup. People came from all over the world to taste. They even sold priceless cans to rich Americans. Didn't know that. I didn't know that. And Johan, similar to historical revisionism, equals architectural revisionism. It deliberately forces the population to... Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, that comment, isn't it, Anthony?
Yes, it is.
Because we do. We tend to forget things.
Yeah.
And forget its genius and abilities. Well, this is the point, you see, because some of the buildings in Liverpool are absolutely amazing what we've got left.
Yeah.
What we have left. I'm going to show you something here. Now here, this building here, that was a theatre. That was a theatre. And it was a very, how can I say, it was a very important theatre. And I did Who Do You Think You Are with John Bishop. And I was showing him this theatre. And I said, your granddad appeared there. And he was amazed. But I was showing him the photograph. Because right there now is, a few little shops, if you know what I mean. It's like facing the, more or less, it's not facing it really. You know where the old Scala was and the Futurist, Anthony?
Yeah.
Right facing there it was. Right facing there.
Yeah.
But isn't it sad, Anthony, the way some things go, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean? All of a sudden it's there, and the next it's gone.
it's it, it's even sadder when you think that some of it is just fashion.
Yeah.
You know, they're old, put something new.
And Lee says, years and years of making bad decisions, these authorities, and they still won't learn these days from them. Shame on them. I remember telling you, Frank, about a farm selling its land that they knocked the original farmhouse down 17th century, yes, like it was nothing, and built horrible modern houses on it. Exactly. Now that particular building that you were saying, Lee, that could have become a little museum.
Yeah.
A museum. Look, they wanted to knock down. I wonder if Jason's still there. They wanted to knock down the White Mansion House in Calderstones, and I said, "Do you know the history behind this?" Because they wanted to build houses. It's all based on greed. I said, "Don't you know the history behind this? The White Mansion House?" No, why? What is it? And that's the answer that you get. So I said, that particular building was the ancestral home of Sir Spencer Perceval, who was a Liverpool Prime Minister. And he was assassinated on the 11th of May, 1812. There it is, Jason. There it is. Look at it.
Brilliant.
They wanted to knock that down. They wanted to build houses there. It's shocking. It's just shocking. What could have still there today saved it. But could you imagine that gone, Anthony?
It's just I could imagine them knocking it, Frank, because they do all sorts. But it's such a blessing that they haven't.
Exactly, because the history behind it, as I said, the only British Prime Minister to be assassinated was Sir Spencer Perceval by a fella from Duke Street, John Bellingham.
Yeah.
As I said, on the 11th of May, 1812. And that would have been gone. If that would have been gone now, and houses were put on there, or flats or whatever,
Yeah.
everything would have been forgotten. It would have been just in history that a British Prime Minister was assassinated. Yet, what you can see now was his ancestral home.
Yeah.
It's there, it's living memory, it's living history. There it is.
Well, it's a solid link to history, isn't it? Do your research and you find the story. But
It's horrible.
yeah,
It's just horrible the way we are. George says, Frank, what was on the site before they built that horrible building the Echo used to be?
the Echo Building.
What used to be there? Well, you see, it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. I used to do a murder called the Body in the Sack murder. And it was like a few little shops, but there was also a few homes, Georgian homes. And if you go down Old Street, and I forget the name of I always forget the name of this bloody hotel, and you come to it, and what they preserved was the lockkeeper's home, the lockkeeper of, the Liverpool Leeds Canal, and they kept it, and it was brilliant the way they did it, and they built around it. Now, just a bit further up from the likes of the lockkeeper's lodge, there was other buildings like it, and that's where the echo offices are. And just imagine those preserved today. Beautiful. The brickwork was absolutely immense. And that's what was there.
Was that particular stretch heavily bombed, Frank, during the war?
No,
Oh,
no, that's the point, you see. Where did I'll have to I'll have to go on. Let me put this up again. That's a very good point what you said. Just bear with me, Anthony, please. There's the municipal building there. Love that building.
Yeah.
Just bear with me. Now, see there, right here. Right here, you've got the Liver building, the Cunard building, and the Port of Liverpool building. Now, you don't mind what we have with those particular buildings, the magnificent Edwardian things. The unfortunate thing is that because of that, people at the time were moaning. They're saying you're destroying the docks. You're actually destroying the docks. And when people think that the likes of the Liver building was the very first skyscraper, and people don't realise that. They don't realise it. You know, in the country, a skyscraper. And even people from the country were coming up and going, wow, look at this. Never seen anything like it, you see. And I'm talking about people from around the country. It's like what Liverpool gave to the world. And it was the blueprint. Look, if you could imagine, Anthony, these docks, look at it, incredible. The docks, you can imagine the amounts of traffic on these docks, you know, and the docks being fed with all kinds of trades and whatever. Right? So you can imagine the heavy traffic on the docks themselves. On the docks themselves. I forgot to mention this. Do you know what this is? Here. This here. Now that, believe it or not, Anthony, was the Gorry Piazza. That was the Gorry.
Oh,
that was the, the name was taken from the Gorry in East Senegal, where slaves were kept to be transported over to the cotton fields of America. So that was the Gorry there, the Gorry Piazza. And when you look at, I love this, when you look at that, now there's St. John's Church, as you know,
Yeah.
but I just want to point out a thing or two here.
Yeah.
You've only got to look at this, right? Now, I love this building here.
Yeah.
I love it. Sir Alfred Waterhouse designed that. Yeah, let me see. No, it's not built yet. It's not built yet. Now I'll tell you why I love this building. And when you look at it, it's French design, you know, the tops. Because he wanted something different, but he wanted the same brick as all the neoclassical stuff. You see what I mean? But he wanted a little bit different, so he designed it like in a French style. Yeah?
Yeah.
And whereas I love our architecture, I love these buildings. St. George's Hall, look at it. Look at that. That's absolutely magnificent, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
where's the point with this building? You see the sheer size of it, don't you? Yet the custom house was bigger. You know what we were looking at before?
Yeah.
So you have the two ancient grates. Have you noticed here? Look, there's the frieze, see?
Yeah.
The frieze is on the gable end there. Now that's gone now. And I've always said that it's uncompleted since they took it down and smashed it up. A fella named Nickel designed it. Gone. It's gone. Smashed up. So it's still not completed.
No.
And when you get the lads who designed, you know, they were commissioned to design, you know, these great neoclassical stuff. Just like Harvey Lonsdale Elms, you know, designed St. George's. And you had two brothers here who designed the Sessions House. And when you're out here, that's the Walker, that's the gallery.
Yeah.
Beautiful building.
Yeah.
But what you have here, the two ancient grates, you have all the Corinthian towers, columns here, they're Greek, but on the inside, you had the Roman stuff based on Emperor Caracalla's steam baths in Rome. But one I want to point out, which I think is very important, is this here.
Yeah.
This magnificent building. And a lad by the name of Cornelius Sherlock. And he was mates, funny enough, with J.J. Souls, who designed this. Anyway, they were chatting and he said, well, where are you going to? Have a look. He said, well, I'm going to Athens first. have a look at their buildings. And then I'm going to Rome. And when he got to Rome, he was looking around. You know, he went to Athens, he had a look around there. He went to Rome. And when he was looking around in Rome, he was just following a crowd of people. You know, like tourists going back then.
Yeah.
In the 19th century, sorry. And all of a sudden he came across my favourite building in all the world is the Pantheon. The Pantheon that was designed and built by Emperor Hadrian, you know, the famous wall fella. And he just looked at it and he went, whoa. And he drew it, sketched it. And that's what you see today, the Pantheon and the dome.
Yeah.
Isn't that magnificent? And people, you know, I say to people when I've had them with me, has anybody been to Rome? And when they put their hands up, I said, did you ever go and see the Pantheon? They said, yeah. I said, well, there it is, there. And they're amazed. They're actually amazed because these architects get great inspiration from other people's work. That's all it is. Wonderful stuff. I just love our neoclassical stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know my feelings on people who are totally inspired by sight to bring it back and do something with them. And that whole area is just like otherworldly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And when you see right here, where I'm pointing out, right there, that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
And here was my playground as a kid. A little mad lad running around and going into the fountain, which is here, Stebble Fountain. And where that church is, which is the irony. When I grew up, you know, we used to play football, but it was all concrete. And the only bit of green was in the little cemetery of this church, right? So we used to go into the cemetery because it was green and play football.
Yeah.
See, it was a mound of green, and around the mound was like these, not like, I hate saying that, was these flattened, you know, tombstones, you know, just fell flattened.
Yeah.
And on that site of me playing football on it was one of the greatest of all aeronauts. And his name was Wyndham Sadler.
Yeah.
And Wyndham Sadler was the very first person to cross an expanse of water from Dublin to Liverpool. He was a Liverpool lad. His dad, James Sadler, tried to do it on many of occasions. He couldn't do it. And it's because he tried to cross from Liverpool to Dublin, and he just couldn't do it. So he was getting blown all over the place. And so anyway, he said, well, I'm going to do it from Dublin to Liverpool. I think it'll be much easier, you know, with the winds and whatever. So he was the first fellow to cross from Dublin to Liverpool, which was a phenomenal achievement going back then. And that
Yeah.
was in April 1817. Now, people have said, no, he wasn't the first. It was a chap by the name, I forget his name, an Italian. I said, no, he wasn't. I said, it was him. Wasn't the Italian. I forget the Italian's name, unfortunately. Anyway, it wasn't him. It was Wyndham Sadler in April 1817. And unfortunately, he was killed in 1823 over the moors of Lancashire when a big gust of wind, downs his balloon, and it killed him. But his dad, James, he was the very first British aeronaut after the Montgolfier brothers, who went up in 1774. He went up in 1784, I think, 10 years later.
And
James
obviously,
Sadler.
the great irony is that we're able to discuss the burial sites and various other buildings because of fellow balloonists so many years later. It, it's a precarious thing to think about, isn't it? To do what William Sadler did is scary enough, but to be up in a balloon and know that your job is to draw the city that lies beneath you. Uh, that's a job I wouldn't like.
No. Well, if you think about it, Anthony, I know what you're saying about what we've been looking at, these maps, and lads up in the air there, drawing and whatever. Yeah, it is a bit precarious. But when you look at the likes of Wyndham Sadler going further back to 1817 and
Yeah,
crossing an expanse of water, now if he was to gone down in the drink, he would have been dead.
yeah, yeah.
It's as simple
No,
as that because there was
I
no such thing
get that.
as steamers.
Yeah, true
It was only
adventure.
sail, and they were always getting buffeted about. So if he would have gone down there was no communication with anybody. So he would have he would have perished. Go down in the middle of the Irish Sea, for example. So anyway, to me, he's one of the greatest of all explorers.
Yeah.
That's me personally. To cross that expanse of water. And he's buried, or he was buried there, and just there. And I didn't know. And I was playing football as a little mad kid.
Yeah.
God, that was incredible. Just absolutely incredible. What you find out when you get a little bit older.
So is he now buried in St James's Cemetery by the cathedral?
Do you know what? I don't know. I don't know what happened to when they finally
The bodies.
took up the bodies. I just don't know. Most probably they just discarded them like as though they were nobody. If you know what I mean. It's terrible to say that. It really is. It's terrible to say things like that. Tell the world of the David Lewis Hotel and Theatre. Perfect. Yeah, I've mentioned that lots of times, Stefan. such a tragedy that they pulled that down as well. Lots of times I've mentioned that. And he says, that looks like my main work officer's thing, Wall Hall. They did sell all the land for the housing estate. There you go. And Tuscany, unfortunately, the houses they build nowadays have no character and just look like shoeboxes, with the builder trying to build as many houses on a plot as they can get away with. You're absolutely right. That's why they're tiny inside.
Yeah. Cardboard houses.
They're tiny inside, unfortunately. Shout there, Toscana. And Johan says, Toscana, masonry and architecture used to strive for perfection in the past. Unfortunately, the trend is profit over perfection nowadays.
Yeah.
Spot on there, Johan. So right. How many stonemasons are there today? Not many.
Yeah.
And Stefan says they found during renovation only recently a private direct access from the Northwestern Hotel to Lime Street. Yeah, well, that's why it was built, you see. That's why it was built, because they used to bring in goods and mail and everything into the Northwestern Hotel. And also, you had the likes of the Adelphi Hotel. They found things there as well, a little underground, like a little steam train, so to speak, coming in from Lime Street into the Adelphi, what I've just shown you there before. The original Adelphi. And Brunelleschi, genial architect of the Star Mario del Fiore in Florence, studied the Rome Pantheon, never found the secret of the dome. No one has. That's a very good shout, that, because, just bear with me on this, you've got the dome there and they couldn't close it. Well, they could close that then, but they couldn't close it 2,000 years ago until the Duomo in Florence was built, and they actually closed it. The dome, fantastic. Yo, I'm Brazilians. I grew up playing football in the... Go away. In the favela, go away. Really? Frank, I grew up playing football in the cemetery. Checkmate. Go away. Oh, Johan. That's fantastic. Wow. I grew up playing football in the favelas. Frank, Brazilians, I grew up... Oh, I thought it was you. No, yeah, that's it wrong. Brazilians, I grew up playing football in the favelas. Frank, I grew up playing football in the cemetery. Checkmate. Oh, fantastic. Really fantastic. But what do you think about tonight, Anthony?
I think it's been great. I think it always does us all good to touch base with where we are, and I just think the maps that you and Jason have been able to access are just
Oh,
fantastic.
brilliant.
It's like
Absolutely brilliant. You know, I love that map. I just love this map here. I really do. Because there's so much detail. We'll use it next week as well. We'll use it next. I'll tell you what we could use. We could use it on Wednesday. You know, for the
list.
history of the literature show. I bet you're thinking why. Shall I tell you why?
Well, I know there's a couple of areas which appertain to great literature, and
Yes.
we've got them here in Liverpool.
Yes. And one is the original Adelphi Hotel and Charles Dickens. And also, when we move the map, we'll go down towards the pier head
Yes.
and to Fenwick Street, where I was going to say Edgar Allan Poe, where Defoe, not Willem Dafoe, but you know Defoe who wrote.
Yeah. 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 I think that's a great shout, Frank. Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll have him. You know, we talk about him and his literature. We'll talk about the likes of Dickens, but also who was here was Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Yeah.
And that fella who wrote Moby Dick. So you see, you know, the likes of the history of literature and
Yeah.
these fellas who actually wrote things
And they're writing about
in
real.
Liverpool. Sorry?
They're writing about Liverpool life.
Exactly. Exactly. Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde.
Yeah.
In Liverpool.
Yeah.
So we'll have a great show. We'll have a great show. Just ends with what these were saying. That was a great shout there, Johan, about the film. I thought it was you. He's Brazilian. Buy him a pair of boots, get him playing at Anfield. Oh, brilliant. That was funny, that. I read it wrong, as usual. And Stefan says, the Roman built where a mortar made from their volcano ashes. They used to export it across the empire, made it lighter, but also fireproof. That's incredible, that. And Johan, thank God you reread that. I was getting flashbacks to the time you thought I was. You're right there, man. Because I said, he must be from Hong Kong, this Johan. Oh, that's sweet. And Johan, the Adelphi Dickens, surely, absolutely. Absolutely. And George, good night to the Prince of Liverpool and the Duke of Birkenhead. Time for me to get my head down. Early start. Thanks for the great show. Thank you, George.
Cheers, George. Have
Really
a good day.
appreciate it. And Stefan, was Melville the fella of Scouse? What he was a fan of was whale blubber. He loved whale steaks, whale steaks. And Johan. I wonder if Dickens had any of that turtle soup stuff mentioned.
Would
Most
be.
probably. Most probably. Turtle soup. Turtle soup. I want to be a turtle. But anyway, people. I think Dickens actually praised the turtle soup. Must check. It's amazing. It's been great tonight, I think, because, as I said, it's given us an impact now for Wednesday and the history of literature.
Yeah.
You get people, don't you? It's 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 like Melville, who wrote Moby Dick, and the likes of Nathaniel Hawthorne. They hated Liverpool. Didn't like Liverpool at all. Thought it was too rough. And yet you're at Defoe. He really thought that Liverpool was super. He said, "What a place!" But I'll let you know more about it on Thursday. So you're looking forward to Wednesday? I'm sorry.
I am, boss. I am, Frank. Yeah, I am.
And Stefan says the turtle is the symbol of the Cosimo and the Medicis.
Jeez.
Cosimo de Medicis, really. His favourite dwarf, Morganti, is sculpted, riding one.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Never had a clue about that. And Johan, thank you, Frank, Anthony, Jason, and legends in the chat for another brilliant show. Have a good night, everyone. Frank, footy show tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. There's not to talk about, though.
Thank
I
you.
don't know. All you can talk about is gear, so we could be doing a lot of things tomorrow besides, so. But excuse me. But I'll still have, excuse me there. I'll still have Jason to, have this map up, Anthony, for Thursday,
For Wednesday, yeah.
Thursday, for Wednesday. So
Yes.
we can look at where they stayed.
Yes.
Hey?
Absolutely. And also, we've mentioned them, you've mentioned them a couple of times, but to have the map and show the vicinity of the brother-sister poet family.
Oh, do you mean the Cloughs?
Yes.
Anne Clough and Arthur Clough? Yeah. Because you'll have to remind me, you'll have to say something.
Yeah.
You'll have to say something, remind me to
I will.
do that. Because Rodney Street, besides, had so many great people living there.
Absolutely.
Incredible. Nicholas Montserrat.
Yeah.
Montserrat. The Cruel Sea.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
shout that.
And
That
you
was a
can
great shout that, Anthony, mate. Thank you. And Poppy, lovely Poppy, says, great show, thank you all so much. Very interesting. Good night and God bless everyone. Oh, isn't that lovely?
Good night,
Thank
Peter.
you, Poppy. Mille grazie, as the wonderful Italians say.
Yeah.
And Jason says, thanks all.
Thanks.
Jason getting in there. Jason, don't forget to have that map for us on Wednesday, please. That'll be great, that, wouldn't it? You know, to go to the locations.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I hear that, haven't they, mate? About the alligator will do. So we'll have the map up for us.
Brilliant.
And Stephen says, thank you so much for the crawl through the old city. Lots of fun. Time travel. This is the best we do, to be honest, Stephen. It really is. I went shopping today, you know, Anthony,
Yeah,
and I got me crisps in for crisp butties. Love crisp butty. I think there's something wrong with me. I think there is, you know. And I'd just like to say, besides Anthony, you know, I'd just like to say, me and Kenny say good night. What do you think of that, though?
you and Kenny in one of the most beautiful buildings in the city of Liverpool,
Oh, yeah, Gothic.
the Anglican Cathedral.
Gothic. Gothic. And the biggest cathedral in the country.
Yeah.
Fifth, I think, or no, it's no. I think it's the seventh biggest in the world. Biggest in the country, though. Daniela, the lovely Daniela. Good night, Frank and Anthony. Thank you for the show. We miss Liverpool. Oh, she's a great Beatle fan, you know, Anthony.
Oh,
She
brilliant.
loves coming over every year to the Beatle week.
Yeah,
She's a great fan.
yeah, yeah.
And yet, I don't know whether I told her that, yeah, it is. I told her that I actually seen the Beatles live when I was 14.
Yeah, you said, yeah, the other week. Yeah.
Couldn't hear them though, with all those girls. All those girls screaming. All I seen was four heads, you know, on the stage
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the Locarno.
yeah, yeah,
That's all.
yeah.
And I always remember this American saying to me, "You seen the Beatles live?" I said, "Yeah."
Shake your hand. Yeah. That is something special, though, Frank.
What?
Seeing the Fabs.
Yeah, yeah. There's not many of us, is there? To be honest. Toscana, grazie and buonanotte to you, Franco, Anthony, Jason, and chatters. Another very interesting evening. The maps are awesome. Just watching the Azori, my lips are sealed. Oh, I'll go and watch them now. I'll go and watch them now. Thank you, Tosca. I didn't even know we were playing. And Johan, you know that fella from Hong Kong? He's just come on and said, King Kenny and Sir Carlyle. Brilliant photograph there. Thank you, Johan.
Yeah.
Anthony, I've got to ask you, did you see the Chinese parade?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
Do you
it
know,
was the,
since
it was the
we
victory
connected,
parade, you know.
I haven't seen. I've been a couple of hospital appointments. I haven't been out the house, Frank. I haven't seen nothing.
Oh, it was incredible. No, not here. I mean on the telly, because there was
Oh
the victory parade in
no!
Beijing.
No.
It was the most I watched the Russian one. I watched the British one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which I turned off immediately once I seen those fucking
Wow.
Ukrainians, the Azovs marching. No way. I watched the American one. An absolute disgrace, even. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the Chinese, Anthony, Google it. The Chinese victory parade.
Just
You know,
perfection.
because they celebrate just like we celebrate it every year. Anthony, it was the most remarkable thing I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Incredible. Playing Israel, we stuffed them.
Wow. What are you going to
And
win?
on that score, Anthony, I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you, Frank.
Don't forget, remind me of Arthur Clough
I will. I will. I've got to
and
do
Clough.
homework as well. Yeah.
I'll
I
forget, you see.
will. Yeah.
I'm losing it, I'm afraid. And there's where it says, you know, you can search Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown Art on Facebook, Instagram, or Google for Anthony Brown Artist. There you go. There you go.
Thank you, Frank.
This fella always comes on late, and well, he doesn't come on late, he's there all the time. Big up Frank, Anthony, and chat. Smash the likes and subscribe. You never walk alone. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, and for all you wonderful football fans. I'll see you tomorrow night. But anything might go tomorrow. And I mean anything, you know, besides football. There's nothing to talk about, really, because I don't like international football. And so we could be talking a little bit about football, and mostly we'll be talking about whatever you want to talk about. And it's just for me to say a good night to Anthony. Thank you so much. I've got
Thank
to
you.
say a big thank you to this lot here, which is the
Absolutely.
wonderful Gap Painting Services who sponsor the Frank Carlyle pods. And the fully time served, fully insured, don't struggle if you're an NHS worker. If you are a pensioner, please get them in. You get special discounts. Please, and if you don't fit into the categories of those two, they're still very reasonable. I know. Please get them in. They're brilliant people. And you can get a price off them, but no obligation, because they're reasonable. Okay? Yeah. And it's just for me to say a big thank you to my great friends here, Anthony, and also to Jason, because he's worked wonders tonight,
Yes.
hasn't he?
Yeah. Every time behind the scenes.
Brilliant tonight, you know, especially getting this map up for us, and also
Yeah.
the White Mansion House that we had to talk about.
That was
It just
fantastic.
came about it.
Yeah.
And most importantly, Anthony, who do we really
Our
applaud?
wonderful, beautiful chat family.
There you go.
You know,
The chatters. Because without the chatters, there'd be no
your show.
show. Thank you so much, people. See you tomorrow, all you football fans and all you literature fans, the history of literature fans on Wednesday. Thank you so much. Ciao. Ciao. Ciao, Bella.